Hello, and welcome to Module 9, Key Number 9, which is Self-Assessment and Reflection. I'm Peter Rios, and I'll be your instructor for this course. This is a very important module because if we're not self-aware, if we do not reflect as people and leaders, run the danger of living a reckless life. Sometimes people think one thing of themselves or believe something when really it's not true. It's not facts. So being self-aware is going to bring you that consciousness that you need to understand who you are, where you're at in this particular time in life, and how you can get better. This is what I wrote in Maximize. Self-assessment is the mirror we hold to ourselves, reflecting our inner world of strengths, of our weaknesses, desires, and aspirations. Whether you seek to enhance your professional performance, build healthier relationships, or simply gain a clearer sense of purpose, self-assessment can lead you there. And I am so grateful, happy, thrilled that you are in this course and taking this module seriously. When we self-reflect, when we have daily reflection, that can build a foundational piece for your personal and professional development. These practices not only foster a deep understanding of oneself, but also illuminate the path towards greater effectiveness, satisfaction, and the impact in one's career and life. So let's talk about the importance of self-assessment and reflection. This is what Socrates said: "The unexamined life is not worth living." Wow. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people, and I used to be one of them. So I can't act like I've been, I've been doing well all my life. I used to live my life aimless, right? Like in business, we talk about having a target market. What's the group population segment that you're going to target for your products or your services? Well, in our own life, we need to have a target. That's why we talk, about goals, and we talk about journaling, and we talk about planning, right? Because you need to have a plan of where you want to go and be. And so sometimes we can live a life that's of routine. We can live a life that it's aimless. You're just going through the motions. People go to a 9 to 5 and get out, and they just do the same thing. Now routines are good, don't get me wrong, but there's a differentiation between disciplined routines because you're doing this to be successful, and routines because this is just what you do to get through. I'm just getting by. We've heard that before, right? And people are living a life that's unexamined. I don't know about you, but in this module, we need to examine our lives. We need to see, where are we, right? Who are we? Where do we want to be? Where do we want to go? And in this module, you're going to have the awesome opportunity to take the life wheel, the assessment. Yes, it's going to be powerful. I'm so excited for you because although very simple, it can be a life changer for many. So in the module, you're going to, I'll talk about this for a minute, but the life wheel, think about it like a pizza, right? A pizza pan. You have different slices of pizza, right? In the life wheel, those different slices in that wheel or that pizza, they can stand for relationships, money, finance, personal, professional growth, faith, spirituality, different areas of your life that you're going to put numbers by. In other words, if I'm doing great, then I'll put a 9, right? Or a 10, because I'm maximizing that area in, let's say, faith. But let's say in finances, I'm not doing too good. I'm actually behind in bills, or I got fired, or I'm just trying to make ends meet. Then you're going to put 2 or 3 because, and we're talking about 1 out of 10, right? So, if we're thinking about numbers 1 out of 10, then 2 or 3 will be on the low end, right? Whereas 9 or 10 will be the high end, obviously. And so when you finish that assessment, and it'll make more sense once you see it, all right? I'm just excited. I hope you see that. So excited. You're going to see where you're at in different areas of your life. And then you can make a plan of how you want to get better. Isn't that amazing? That is so powerful. I have used this tool with so many of my clients, and they have said this is life transforming. Why? Because sometimes we're living, like Socrates said, an unexamined life. We're just going through the motions, right? And we need someone else or something, in this case, a tool, to let us know how we're doing. There's other assessments that will be in this module. So just go through them so that you can find out what are your strengths, your weaknesses, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun. So back to the importance of self-reflection, of self-assessment, right? Number one, it promotes self-awareness. You will know where you're at. I feel down. Why do I feel down? You go to the root cause of why you're feeling down, or you're extremely happy. Why do I feel happy? You're reflecting, you are centered, you are present, right? Number two, it facilitates personal growth. So when we are self-assessing and we're reflective, we are actually growing because we know where we're at and we know where we want to go. Number three, obviously, it facilitates continuous learning. By reflecting on your experiences, you can extract valuable lessons from both successes and failures. So this process turns every experience into an opportunity for learning, ensuring that you continue to grow and adapt over time. Who doesn't want to grow? I do, and you do too, because that's why you're here, right? The next one, improves decision-making skills. Yes. So when you know where you're at, you know how you're doing, you can make better decisions because you have the data, you have the facts, you know where you're planted, right? You know where you're standing. So no more aimless living, right? We're going to live on purpose. Say that with me. I'm going to live on purpose. Awesome. Also, being self-reflective, having a self-assessment boosts productivity and performance. It will help you to reflect on your working habits, time management, and productivity through your career, right? So that's so important because who doesn't want to be better with time? Who doesn't want to be better with decision making? Who doesn't want to know more or less where they're at in life? I do. That's the only way we can get better, right? If we measure things, if we track our goals, if we have milestones, if and being self-reflective, that is like the checkpoint where you're checking to see how you're doing. The next point is one of my favorites, if you haven't noticed. This encourages a growth mindset. Away with the fixed mindset, right? Away with the fixed mindset. Bring in the growth mindset. Go like this again. Right. Our mind, our brain is right here. It enhances a growth mindset. Self-assessment and reflection nurture a growth mindset by framing challenges and setbacks as opportunities for learning and development. This perspective encourages resilience and a proactive approach to personal and professional challenges. Listen, we talked earlier about the fishbowl. Remember that lesson, the fishbowl, and the fish, the goldfish wouldn't swim around in the big tank, right? It had a fishbowl mentality. Well, away with that fishbowl mentality, away with the fixed mindset. This is the way it is. I can never be better. No. We're here because we know that we can grow, we can get better, we can mature, we can evolve, we can maximize, we can achieve our goals and our dreams. So remember, do self-assessment as you reflect, right? Daily, right? Daily. This enables your brain and your mind to work in partnership with you. That's right. That's right. And finally, you will be able to identify strengths and areas of improvement, right? Some people don't want to self-reflect. Some people don't want to take a time out in their life. They're always going because they don't want to just sit down. They don't want to be silent. But the best leaders that I know take time to reflect. I heard recently this billionaire, he takes a week off here and there, like every few months or every 5 to 6 months, he takes a week off and just calls it reading week. And he just reads and reflects and journals. A billionaire. Now, obviously, we're like, oh, he can do that because, they can do that because they have billions. Well, they got billions for a reason, because they're self-reflecting, right? This is what man said. All human beings are self-leaders. So you and I, we're self-leaders. But not all self-leaders are effective at self-leading. Oh, wow. We have to be, self-leaders, right? We're developing right now the leader within us, but we also have to be effective at self-leading. And the only way is to reflect and to have assessments. So let me finish by sharing one piece that I believe can help you tremendously. A few years ago, as you know, I started to go to bed really early to get up early, right? So I go to bed 9 o'clock, 9:30 the latest. I really try to get up at 5:30. For me, that's early, going to bed that time and getting up at that time. It may not work for you. You find your time. But one piece that I incorporated to help me with my assessment and reflection was journaling. So I have a journal, right? A little notebook that I use. And when I read every day, right? I read my sacred texts. I read books on different topics, and I journal in there what stood out. I journal in there. I write in there, different ideas that I have, different experiences that I've had, things that I'm questioning, dreams that I've had, everything I write in that book. I go back to it. So like every week or like every other week, I'm revising my journal, looking at what I wrote, right? And it actually, there's a lot of things that I forget because like I've heard it said that whatever you don't write down, you will forget. Well, guess what? It's all in your journal, baby. So you have to journal. I would highly recommend it. We've talked about it from the beginning, but maybe you haven't been journaling. This is the module where you start to journal. Okay. It's so important. Why? You can go back to your journal a year from now. I have journals from 3 to 4 years ago. And it's so exciting to see not only ideas that that's a book idea, that's a video idea, but also where I've grown and how I have matured and evolved, things that have happened that I thought was a big deal back then. I'm like, that wasn't a big deal. So journaling really helps you to be reflective and to assess where you're at and where you want to go. I think this is a good tool, especially for everybody. But for somebody like me, I'm very extroverted, outgoing. I like to, be around people. I like to have music on all the time, loudness. It's hard for me to be centered, to be quiet. You hear that? To be quiet, right? It's hard for me right now. Watch. I can't. I'm just kidding. I can, but I'm just giving you a radical example. Listen, doing a journal, it's powerful. It will change your life. That's how I want to end this module. Start journaling today. Get any journal. Go to the dollar store if you have a dollar store. Ask your kids if you have kids. Maybe they have an extra notebook laying around. Maybe you have one in your house. Get a journal. Start writing things out. Start putting your ideas in there. Start recording how your life is going. It will be a blessing to you. Well, we're out of time, but remember to go to your map, Master Action Plan, and do 1 or 2 of those things. It's going to be awesome. See you in the next module.